Hey YouTube, and welcome back to Empyrion episode 2. So where we left off, as you can see, I've extended the platform out a little bit. I intended not to do any building off camera, but it seems to be the fact that this is Route 66 right the way down this beach for every walking daffodil that's on this planner. So I managed to kill quite a few of them, and as you can see, there's another one deciding to come down as well. But by actually putting the platform here, it seems to stop them from just walking down here now. They just seem to congregate up there. And it also gave me a place to actually fight them if they did decide to bimble down here, which they did quite a few times while I was crafting. I did say I would do some mining off camera, and I certainly went ahead and did that. I managed to mine a promethium mine, an iron mine, silicon and copper, and I completely emptied all four of them, and they weren't big mines. I think they were like 4s and 5s. I didn't get a huge amount. I think the copper might have been a 7 because I did manage to get quite a lot of copper, as you can see. The other thing I went ahead and did is I crafted all the items that I need to actually get my ship up and running, because I really don't like the fact that my ship is that far away. If we lose that, we're going to have to build one from scratch. And the escape pod's actually quite a good ship to start off with. It's not a bad ship. It's quite maneuverable. Especially when you get some weapons on, so I need to get that away from there. Fortunately, no drones have decided to have a go at it, but I don't really want to tempt fate too much. And all I'm doing now is I'm just making small places. You see my iron's really low. I have no magnesium left. I did manage to burn through the ammo I created before, and I've made 432 more. But that's it, so I'm out. So I need to get my ship up and running where I can get out, explore a little bit, and there's our sun coming up. So today's episode, what I want to do is go ahead and get the ship up and running and operational with some weapons. I'm going to put 2 rocket launchers on, just because I think for ground operations that is definitely the better of the weapon. And I believe we should have enough for 2 of them. And the other part of this video is what I want to do is start our base layout and get it really panned out of where I'm going. And my thoughts is I need to make this a lot wider, because this will be our chute that we can fly in over the lake, come down and into our mountain base for our aircraft. Our farms I'm going to do on the outside, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this platform out a little bit more and then go down that way. And then I think I might put a farm this side, a smaller farm. I don't want the farms being able to touch the land or get too close to the land. And you see how I develop the farms as I go forward. It's not you must do it this way. Pretty much everything with this game is what... Yeah, that's crafting. So I'm going to go ahead and head to our ship. It's what you want to do, what you want to develop, what your visualization is. I've done the greenhouses on my test game, and I really like the look of them. And I can still hear the blooming walking daffodils. If there's anything in this game that's going to pee you off more than anything, it's going to be these damn things. They are an absolute pain. Green blobs, nah, they don't attack you. They're fine. Walking daffodils, yep, they will attack you. It's the only thing that's organic on here that will attack you at this time. Whether they put more in later on, I don't know, or more different creatures. I can't hear it, so that's a good sign. I don't know. So what we're going to do is we need to get our ship up and running and get it back to our base. We'll do some of the building here, and we'll finish it off at the base. Now, a couple of friends that I know that have played the game saw that how I set it up, but didn't actually get to see exactly where I did put everything. So the way that I actually do the ship is I put 4 thrusters down. So there'll be eventually 4 thrusters down, 3 on the top, 2 either side, 1 at the front, and then you've got your main thruster at the back. So all I do is I take my storage cargo box off, which then gives me access to this block here, as you can see there. Oh, scared the living Jesus out of me. Right, okay. The easiest way to know which way your thruster is pointing is the opposite side to the thruster is got a blue mesh. So as long as you know you've got that blue mesh, you know you're good. And I put the first thruster there, so it's actually recessed in, and that's where my first thruster goes. Now my side thruster, let's have I use the right one. I've got a header repair that. Okay, and so we've got 1 thruster now going down and 1 to the right. My next thruster goes here. Again, this isn't a you must do it this way. This is just something that I've found, and it's quick and easy. I know it works on the escape pod really well. So we've got 1 down and 2 on this side. So our next one is we'll go around the other side now, and actually I might be fortunate. I can put my thruster in the back. There we go. Normally what I would do is exactly the same as I did on the other side. Take the cargo box out, take that corner piece out and then put it in, but fortunately because it's actually hanging half off a cliff, I can actually get to it. So we'll put our other side one on. And I will go around the ship and actually do all the repairs once it's actually back at base. And this one actually has an O2 tank, so I'm going to go ahead and take that one out. Don't forget, when you destroy an item, you get the ingredients back that it took, or the materials back that it took to make it. So you're not actually losing anything by doing that and destroying it. So we're going to go up on top. I'm so waiting for a drone to come. And the way you rotate the blocks, that was another question that seems to get asked a few times, is you use the insert, home, page up, page down, end and delete key. And depending on which angle you're looking at it or which axis is, depends on which key does what. Okay, so we've now got 2 thrusters to actually thrust up. We've got 2 down, 2 either side, 1 at the back. We need 1 at the front. So I'll go ahead and put that in. So waiting for a daffodil to come and zap me while I'm doing this. Oh, that's it, yeah. Thanks for that. Okay, so it seems that they can just shove things around. I'm just going to make it nice and harder for us. So the next thing is we need our RCS controller. And I'm going to do the rest when I get back to base. I've got a funny feeling he's going to try and shove this even further down. And that should be enough to allow it to fly, like so. It won't fly very well. It'll handle very, very badly. But at least it's enough for me to get it away from where it was. Get it back to our base platform. And that's another reason I did the platform, just to speed that up a little bit. So we'll get her landed. Okay, so we'll turn that off. Okay, so we can just finish off getting our thing. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the core out, and I'm going to knock this block off and the next one down. And put all our pieces back. And I want to make another core, so I can put the core back in. So while we're waiting on that, we'll get the RCS unit in. So there's our RCS unit, and you'll see why I'm not putting the other thruster in just yet in a moment. So we might as well go ahead and finish our repairs off on the top. Okay, so that's looking better. That's all repaired. Now again, it's not, you must do it this way for doing the repairs and getting your craft. You can literally, there's thousands of combinations you can use to actually get it. This is just what I've done up to now, just to make it a lot more easier on me. It's almost like an automated process for me now. This is just how I set it up. So there we go. So we're all done. We should now have our core. Good. So number 7, and there's our core. It just gives it a bit more protection. So if a drone comes along, it's got to get through the rest just to get to the core. So it just gives it a bit more protection. So I'm just moving my chair. Okay, so we've got our 3 thrusters on top. We've got 2 either side, 1 at the front, 1 at the back, and we need 4 to actually power us off. Now, the easiest way that I have found to actually do this is A not fall off. Make sure it's got fuel. With the two thrusters at the back, it will actually hover if you jump out on its own, just like so. So then what that'll allow you to do, in our case we want to put two thrusters underneath. So there's our one thruster and there's our two. So we've now got our four thrusters underneath, and the other thing I want to do is put our landing legs down like so. So there we go. So that is our ship fully flying. It's got its landing gear, it's got all its thrusters, and compared to when we flew it over here, you'll find now it's quite stable, it's quite maneuverable, and it just makes it a lot easier. And that's where I've found there may be other ways of doing it. Just have fun. Okay, so the only other thing I want to put on is my two rocket launchers. Now again, where you put these is entirely up to you, but I just tend to put them there. That way they're in my line, so I know when I'm aiming where I'm aiming for. And there we have it, and that's the ship. The other thing I will do, I won't at the moment because my materials is actually quite low, is I'll put two more oxygen tanks here, and then just for any reason I've got plenty of oxygen. Like I say, one of the biggest updates, one of the greatest part of the update, and I'm the biggest fan of, is oxygen stations now require you to press T. So whereas before you used to just walk up, and if it was powered on and there was oxygen in your tanks, you walk up and you get oxygen. Now you actually have to press the T to get your oxygen. So on to our next bit, which we've got our ship up and running. Start doing a bit more on our base layout. Now I know that this needs to be 7 wide. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and I've made it longer than the rest, I know, but there we go. So what's that now? So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then another one, 7. We'll just have a look at that. Compared to our ship, yeah, that's plenty of room. Don't forget, when you start making your own vessels, they can be a little bit bigger than that, so that's plenty. So if we make roughly something like that, not quite as drastic as that, then there's plenty of room there. So we've got our platform. At the moment, there's no integration for the blocks, so literally you can just build to your heart's content. Now I figure Something like that. And I knew I was going to fall in. Murphy's Law. Okay, so now it's just a case of starting to fill in the template now. I'll go to the end. There we go. It will probably be a lot wider than this, as you'll see when I actually start building it. And I need a block there and a block there. So I'm just going to concentrate on the one side of the farm for the moment. It's actually quite nice up here, overlooking, so that when the farm when you're in the greenhouse bit, you'll be looking out, so you'll actually see across. I think that'd be good. Okay, so and here we go. And the next one. So that'll be our flight path, so righty. Just to give you an idea, this is where the farms will go. So that's good. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. This will make more sense once you actually start seeing it being developed. It's not random. It's not completely random. I've done quite a few designs now. So the idea is the platforms will be too high, too thick. And then what that means is when I put my planters in, I'll be putting my planters in over a layer. So it's not one layer, you know, so if you accidentally get shot through one layer, you're not falling all the way through, or your planters aren't just looking in an empty spot. So I always do one layer, then put my planters, and all this is actually the walkway around them, so they won't actually be raised, they'll be sunken into the ground. And that's what the point of all this is. Around the edges, I tend to round them off, just because it makes it looks a lot nicer for me. Again, it's personal preference. If you don't wish to do it, you don't need to. But it is going to take a lot more resources. But it is a lot easier. Now I've got my escape pod up and running. I've started getting this out. This is now my focus. I want to get my farm running as quickly as I can. As you can see now, my food's already starting to get low, and I've been fortunate. I have not had to use a emergency ration yet. This is the first time I'll be actually using one. I have survived all the time up to now, literally just eating corn dogs. I'll go ahead and call it quits there for the moment, guys. We've now got our good base layout. We're well on our way with that. That's going to be our focus. Our ship's now fully operational. It's armed, so we can actually start hitting some towers. And we may actually do that in the next episode. We're going to have a look at some of the new POIs. I'll show you some of them. Not guarantee you that it'd be the better way to attack them, but it's how I attack them, especially at this level. I'm not one for running in there like Rambo, guns blazing. I have a spaceship with big guns. I'm going to use the spaceship to shoot the towers or shoot whatever I can. The less contact that I have, though, the less chance of me getting hurt or dying or me losing my ship, the better it is for me. So I do apologise if you was hoping that I was going to go Rambo in some things. Later on some of the other places, on the other planets, you'll see where we've been doing some actual play today. Me and a friend were actually going to different planets and having a look at some of the POIs and assaulting the mine before we ran out of ammunition and ran out. So later on I will do that. Again, guys, if you've got any suggestions, I do need a colour scheme for the base. If you want to wait until you see it a little bit more before you come up with that, that's really good. But please, any suggestions or comments, anything you can see that I can actually do better, like my spacecraft or how I set the SV up. If you know a better way, please leave a comment. Any suggestions or any questions, leave a comment below. If you enjoy the video, please give it a like. It does help me to understand that at least it's going in the right direction. Until next time, guys, what I'll do is I will actually hit some more mines. I won't do any of the combat. I'm not going to do any more building. I'll literally go out, get the resources, run them through a constructor. The only thing I may do off camera, if push comes to shove, is I'll make that's my phone. I'll make a fridge and a food processor, but I'll try and do that in the next episode. That's my plan, to get that and then hit some towers. So until next time, guys, take care. Hope you enjoyed. Until next, see you soon.